This is hopefully part 4 of my story time slash experiences with Jada Epps, aka I am Winklebottom. If you all have any questions or find that anything needs clarity, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, so this voice clip is going to come after the dream that I first, with the whole stand in the sand saying, basically. And I just want to mention that a terminal disease was mentioned in this dream. And the terminal disease was mentioned in this dream that I'm about to talk about and the one prior to that, because my guides are basically telling me they're bringing up that terminal disease to put it in correlation to Jada's corruption. So basically, that disease is synonymous to how corrupt she is, how corrupt her soul is, and the energies that reside within her. Right? So a person in that dream, the dream prior to this one, the dream you just listened to, like I said, that person had a disease and she was trying to accuse everyone else of having this disease. And when I was in connection with Jada, aka I call her EV 2.0, she would talk, she was like literally obsessed with talking about the people from her past and the negative things they did about her. Like when she would talk about me, when she would talk to me, that would be the majority of the things that she talked about. It would always be like, oh, my friend Sydney did this to me and my friend Brittany did this to me. And it was like, it was always some type of situation where they were jealous of her, where they wanted to be her, they were copying her and stuff like that. And then when she made me out to be her enemy, she began to put those same attributes onto me as well, and came telling me that she had a dream that I was jealous of her, or that I said this and that about her, or just making shit up to villainize me and basically take me away from the actual greatness and divinity I had and mold me into someone that she wanted me to be, basically. So in this dream that I had recently, I had this dream before I contacted her recently. So yes, the dream was recently and I had it before I contacted her. And in this dream, I was in a shower at a gym and I was trying to get myself cleaned up, and I was just about cleaned up. I was about to get out of the shower. And then Jada came in. She got in the shower with me and she was trying to give me that disease while I was in the shower getting myself cleaned up. And she was trying to dirty me up as well. So that dream is pretty self-explanatory. And I feel like my guides got more comfortable with giving me more direct clarity about her, because they knew that I started to, embrace my intuition and accept the things that were coming to me for what they were. So that was the dream I had recently, right? So after that dream, I want to say maybe a month or so afterwards, I had a psychic experience. And I'm not calling it a dream because it was so clear. I guess you could call it a vision or an astral travel type of experience. But it was a very clear psychic experience where I was taking care of 3 children, right? 3 newborns. And I was pretty much their mother. Like I had adopted them. And they were mine because their original mother was not in a position to take care of them. Come to find out, the original mother was Jada, right? So I'm taking care of the babies. I put two of them in this back room, like this room that's in the back of the house. And I'm holding one in my hand. And just as I'm about to close the door, Jada walks up to the door. And she is depicted as a crackhead and someone who is like ill to some degree. Her hair is messed up. Her clothing is messed up and everything, right? And I'm at the door holding the baby, and she's like, "Oh, can I see my baby?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can look at her, you know." And I'm thinking, okay, you're just going to look at her. And then, after we're done greeting each other, I'm going to close the door and, we're going to move on. So, she's looking at the baby, and then I see that she starts to get too close. And I'm thinking to myself in the psychic experience, I'm like, she can't get too close to these babies, because if she does, she's going to do harm to them. And so that's when I get a bit defensive, and I'm like, hey, like, you can say hi, but you cannot hold them, and you cannot take them back into your possession. And she starts to get extremely belligerent and irate. And she's like, "Why? Those are my babies. Give me my babies." And I'm like, "No, you can't have the babies." And then she starts to like walk closer towards me. And as she's walking closer, I'm like, okay, I can't do too much. Like, I can't fight her or anything because I have this baby in my hand or in my arms. So what I do is I start to like slowly back up. And in the back of my mind, I'm also thinking about the children that are in the other room. And as I'm slowly backing up, she gets more and more aggressive. I just saw 644. She gets more and more aggressive. And then I started to fear, like, what if she tries to take the children? I mean, it's only me here. She could easily run into the back room. So as her aggression progresses, there's this gray force that comes down from the sky and that shuts her off, like closes her off from the babies, holds the babies. And then I think after that, I was able to, I don't know if they ended up taking the baby out of my hand, the one that was in my hand, or if I still had that one baby in my hand. But I was able to like push her out of the door in some way and shut her out. And when I woke up from the dream, I was confused. I was like, I don't know what this shit means. The psychic experience, the dream. I was like, I don't know what this means, so I'm just going to disregard it, right? But it kept coming back to my mind. And I kept thinking about it. It almost made me laugh because I was thinking about how irate she was. And I'm like, girl, like why are you tripping like that? I was laughing at it throughout the day. But I wasn't really taking it seriously because I didn't know what it meant. But I had to divinate on something else that day. And then I was just like, fuck it. Why don't I just go ahead and see what this means? So when I went to divinate on it, they were saying that pretty much Jada was trying to take my power in some way. She was trying to like minimize me or reduce me in some type of way and take something that was rightfully mine and that she was not deserving of. And not just something like, something material or something like that. Something regarding my spiritual essence and power. And they were letting me know that upon me, advocating for myself to get it back, not just to her, but also while doing the work within myself to regain healing in certain aspects and to regain my divinity and power, they were going to protect me. That's why the gray force came down from the sky and protected the babies. So gray in spirituality, black and white represents balance, right? It can also represent justice as well. So black and white mixed together makes gray. So that's why they were depicted as a gray force. And After that dream, I had another dream that further confirmed that dream. And I said, okay, like, is this something that I need to take action on, Madalas? Or like, what do I need to do? What's going on? And they said, you need to contact her and let her know that we let you know and get your power back, right? So this was literally like a month ago, y'all. I contacted her. And of course, as a narcissist would, as someone who knows they're guilty of doing something wrong would, she ducked and dodged. She didn't respond to my messages or anything. But not only did I try to contact her, I went to her mom's page. I went to her brother's page. I went to all of her accounts. And I was like, I literally, in the most grounded and respectful way, said, I know you have my energy. I know you did something with my energy via black magic. And I need you to undo it. I know you're trying to siphon my power in some way, and I need you to stop, right? So I noticed that she was active on Instagram, but she wasn't responding to my messages. So I sent her a voice clip, and I'm going to insert it somewhere in here. Evie 2.0 presented herself to me as someone who gives a fuck about their reputation, someone who cares about being seen in a high vibrational light, someone who cares about being seen as divine. So if I am contacting you and I am saying, let me go to my comment. Hold on. Shit. Well, let me just go to the email, since if I go to the comment, the voice clip is going to turn off. Did that go through? If I am contacting you, I sent her this at 5:22, and I'm saying, hi, Jada Epps, being that wants to be seen as a high vibrational divine person. This is your niece. Divine, ascended, high vibrational ancestors and spirit guides have informed me that you have either frozen or totally revoked my spiritual and general powers and capabilities in one way or another. I have no desire to constantly reach out to you or do what appears to be harassing. I am merely following Spirit's directives. Spirit said enough is enough, and it is time that you release whatever domination that you have casted over my being. After this is done, there is nothing I need from you, thus no reason to reach out any further. Please contact me and assure me that you have acknowledged this email and the urgency of this manner. Spirit said time is up. 5:22, and it's 6:55 when I just looked up at the time. As someone who presents himself to want to be seen in high vibe divine lights, who acts as though they're high vibrational and divine, as someone of that nature, you are not going to allow someone to put negative things on your name or even believe negative things about you. If you want to, do the manipulation thing and make me think that I'm being delusional and it's just trickster spirits, right? Someone who cares about how they're seen, but is also genuinely the traits that they want to be perceived as, is not going to allow someone to believe that they have done some type of dark magic or domination magic over them if they have not. So the fact that you are deleting my comments, you're ducking and dodging me, lets me know that you know exactly what you are doing. And justice will be served. After I tried to contact her and everything, she didn't respond to my messages. And to me, I was like, really, this was like full circle. Like every part of me was in agreement. Like my reality was in agreement. The my psychic intuitive self was on board with things, and you know, I had the dreams to back everything up. And I'm just like, there is no reason for anybody to duck and dodge something like this if they're not actually guilty. Is no reason. Like, and yes, there's a difference between, you know, trying to prove yourself unnecessarily versus, you know, setting the record straight about something so that, you know, there is no, like, the thing about it is, this is someone who had my life in her hands. She's done several, well, supposedly, has done several conjures. Some of them I have seen come to fruition. Others, it's been like, damn, bitch, I gave you my money. Like, hello, you know, and this is me talking from years now. Like, this is not just, oh, it's been a few months, because conjures can take a few months. And excuse my voice because I just woke up. But this is like no results at all. And like I said, I think I said it in one of the other voice clips, I had a dream confirming to me that there have been times when I gave her my money and she has sometimes would do the conjure, sometimes wouldn't, sometimes would use it on shit that she wanted to use it on and not actually do my conjure. And there's also been times, it's been twice, I had to do a dispute with my bank. It's been twice when Jada has took my money and not provided the services that I paid for. Like the phone calls, and yes, I did win that dispute. Like the phone calls that I paid for, the readings that I paid for, and the conjure work. She didn't even refund the money. So the reason why I'm saying all of this is because when you're putting your life in the hands of someone, no matter how y'all end off or how y'all start off, you would think that it regardless of the beef that y'all had or whatever, they would clarify their intentions because of how significant of a role they played in your destiny and the cultivation of your soul via their services like conjure work, necklaces that I've gotten from this person, oils that I've bought from this person. Like, you're up in my mix. We're practically having sex spiritually, and you can't do the least but. It's like somebody fucking you. You having a negative result from them fucking you. And, you know, you go and contact them and be like, hey, since we had sex, something hasn't been going right down there. And I just want you to assure me that, you know, either assure me that you didn't do it or confirm that you did. And they go ghost. But then they go to their YouTube channel and be like, I'm not going to explain myself to anybody that's low vibrational. First of all, if you didn't feel the need to explain yourself, why would you make a YouTube video? Because with that, you explained yourself. You did exactly what you said you weren't going to do. Like, I think that video is like 2 or 3 minutes long. You did exactly what you said you weren't going to do. Like, you contradicted yourself. If you really didn't have shit to say, you wouldn't have even taken the time to make a YouTube video. But the fact that you did lets me know the mindset that you're in. You're in a strategic mindset. You're in a competitive mindset. You didn't really give a fuck. You're not truly an ethical person. If we were to fuck, you couldn't even and break up after that, fall out after that. You wouldn't even be the type to be like, no, you know, I'm clean. Here are my test results. And you can be assured you don't have to worry about that. Spiritually, this person practically imbued a disease inside of me and left it there. And I had to clean up the mess from her shit that she didn't heal and transcend. And I'm actually doing a pretty good job of it, although I have my days. So, this is part of the reason why a terminal disease was mentioned. Probably a few times, but the times that I'm going to recite in the dream voice clips is 2 times. My guides mentioned that. I explained why my guides mentioned that. I'm explaining it here, and I explained it in the voice clip that you all are going to hear after this. But before I play that voice clip, I'm going to insert the voice clip that I sent her after she didn't respond to my attempts to contact her. And I'm going to insert the email as well. And before y'all get to thinking anything, I never met this person in person. I did like a video call with them once, and I saw a half of their actual face, and it was actually her. And we did have a friendship at one point. So she sent me videos of her. I just want to reiterate, it wasn't a catfish type situation in that way. Like, I saw this person, I knew this person was real. She knew I was real. But she was definitely a catfish when it came to her identity and true intentions as a spiritualist. So, yeah. But no, we didn't fuck or anything. And yeah. So this is the last part of these story times. Hopefully, I don't have to make another part. And I'm going to try to be as concise as possible, but yet still thorough in making sure that I give you all the details. So, the first dream that I'm going to read in this part, is this dream. Hold on. I had this dream. Let me go back. Okay, I'm not going to show the information about my divine partner because that's personal to me. So you will see that whited out, but the date is still the same for the part of this one whole dream that I'm about to mention. It's one dream with different parts. So I'm going to read the part that is relative to the points that I'm making about Jada. So, after she told me what she told me in the other part of the dream, which was about my relationship, she said, "Jonice, you haven't done anything all day. It's reminding me of this one lazy, jobless character from a movie. You need to do something." I said, "Yes, I have. I showered. I went to the grocery store. I went shopping. I went to work. I did this, etc., etc." She said, "Okay, but you still haven't really done anything." I got frustrated and I told her to pull tarot. She huffed and said, girl, oh my gosh, ugh. And then I heard shuffling noises and she said, "Spirit agrees." And then I started raising my voice a bit and she said, "Why are you yelling?" I noticed I was yelling. Then I calmed myself down and started to ask her what she meant by doing nothing. Then she stopped me, basically saying she wasn't finna be on the phone with me for long. Then we got off of the phone and I saw a post about her moving out of Siri. She was like, "Wow, I'm actually moving." And somehow I was in Siri too. I had my phone in my hand as I was walking down the street, but I realized she was still in Siri, and I didn't want to prove her right about not having done anything all day. So just to clarify, in the part of the dream that I just spoke of, where she was like, "You haven't done anything," I had actually done those things in the dream. But I knew that her seeing me on my phone would make it appear as if I was not doing anything, but really, excuse me, really, I was just giving myself a break after having worked all day that day. But I know she would have interpreted as otherwise. So, like I said, I had my phone in my hand as I was walking down the street, but I realized she was still in Siri. I said into, I meant to say in Siri. And I didn't want to prove her right about not having done anything all day. I was about to move in next door to her, and I ran back over towards the house next to hers, and I could see her still packing her stuff in the Uber, and her dad was there too. I was looking at her packing as I walked by, but she didn't acknowledge me. I wanted her to say hi or look at me so bad, but she didn't. I was having thoughts like, I miss Jada. I really wish I could see her. Then as I stepped into the house next to hers, it had many rooms. It was white and looked a little dirty. I said, this is a horror/rooming house. And I also thought to myself, I'm tripping. Why am I having those kinds of thoughts about Jada? Then I was on my way out the door and something about my apartment came up. It was about my research, and I said, that's not going to happen until a long time from now, so I don't need to worry about it, basically. So this part of the dream. So again, take note of how I was productive throughout that day, right? She then told me that I wasn't productive. And I was like, I got frustrated because you're telling me something as if, for one, you're telling me something as if you were there to witness it and see it yourself, see it happen or not happen yourself. And you're discrediting work that I've actually put in. It's one thing to discredit something and be there to witness it. And then it's another thing to discredit something and not know what the fuck you're talking about, not having any proof, not seeing anything take place or anything. And that's what she was doing. And that's what she did throughout our entire relationship. She said, I told her everything I did. She said, okay, but you still really haven't done anything. I asked her to divinate so that, perhaps considering that maybe it's my mind, maybe it's the way I'm seeing things that's making me not be able to understand her. Maybe spirit, my ancestors, beings that are supposedly relative to me can help out with that. She just said spirit agrees. She didn't explain how. She didn't explain what she meant by getting things done. She just said spirit agrees, which I want y'all to realize too. These tarot readers can make up their own answers just for themselves to be correct. And I had another trusted tarot reader that I used to work with. And I don't work with her anymore just for my own personal reasons, just because I have opened up to different gifts of my own, and I no longer find a need or reason to go to other tarot readers because of, like I said in the story times before this, my gifts have now been activated. But a tarot reader that gave me a reading about her, which I will insert in this video, did indeed confirm that she was working with dark spirits, and some of her messages would come out from her own ego. So you're saying spirit agrees. You're not elaborating on what they mean by getting done. Then I get frustrated. You gaslight me for getting frustrated by saying, why are you yelling? When you're deliberately provoking me. Then I said, hold on. Then I calmed myself down because I didn't want to be disrespectful. This is like the exact theme of our relationship, this dream. I calmed myself down because I didn't want to be disrespectful, even though this person was deliberately gaslighting me, energy vamping me, and trying to confuse me. I still made an effort to see the best in her and assume that maybe perhaps I wasn't understanding her clearly. When I started to ask her what she meant by doing nothing, she then stopped me and said that she wasn't finna be on the phone for long. After that, we got off the phone. So you say that I'm not doing anything. I let you know everything that I've done in my day. And then you don't even take the time to elaborate on what you mean. That is the mere example of what she's done to me throughout the duration of our connection. Another dream that I had confirming this was a little bit further back. Hold on, let me see. And this dream was recorded on October. Oh, okay. I must have edited it last year on October 31st. This dream was actually recorded on November 11th. Was that? Yeah, November 11th. November 18th, 2022. And what I will do, I just realized that with iMessage, if you double click on the date of the recorded note twice, it'll show you the date that it was created. So I will take screenshots of the date that it was created so you all can know, that it actually did happen on that date, and I'm not just, making this shit up. But I'm going to go ahead and read it. Okay, so this is titled Dream About Jada. She gave multiple long-ass readings, but one of the readings said her and I will be working at Allstate together in the future, that I will have 7 children and some other things. Something happened with somebody that I was working with named Colette. She was being rude to me, and Jada came to my rescue. Jada signed this paper as my emergency contact. She wrote best friend as the title for the contact. Next, we randomly laid down in this bed together, and I got comfortable and wrapped my legs around her to get cozier. So the way that I wrap my legs around her in the dream, so say I have like a life-size pillow, right? Like a teddy bear or something. And like if you're a wild sleeper, you'll know what I'm talking about. And sometimes we'll like turn our body and like put our leg over something, like put our leg over a pillow or put our leg over, the other side of the bed. That's kind of how that was with Jada in the dream. It wasn't like, me getting on top of her and doing, it wasn't sexual or anything like that. I was just really getting comfortable with her, in a platonic way. And so I then said, I suddenly realized that I was too comfortable and she could be crossing her boundaries. And I said, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm getting carried away. Are you uncomfortable now? So my intentions when wrapping my leg around her was just to get comfortable, and was because I felt that comfortable with her as a friend. But as I was having that mindset, I realized that she may not be comfortable. Although I was comfortable and I didn't see it in a sexual way, that's not the mindset that I was in. Those were not the energies I was feeling. I realized that I had never gotten that comfortable with her before, and that she may not exactly be comfortable. And so she then said, yes, as in, yes, I am uncomfortable. And then she got up. I tried to explain to her that I didn't have any sexual intention. And she was like, I don't know, man. I think you did, or something of that nature. I said, I don't think so. I got too comfortable and carried away. I wasn't thinking sexually. This is how I sleep comfortably. Can you divinate and get a confirmation? And that's actually how I sleep in real life too. I said, because maybe you're right and it's subconscious. Me trying to give her the space to be correct. Me trying not to shy away from accountability if I am indeed wrong, because humans are prone to flaw. Sometimes we may not intend to do things consciously, but we can have a subconscious intention that we're not aware of. But the thing about narcissist manipulators, they really like for you to be in that mindset. You should always hold yourself accountable. You should always be open to criticism. But when you are so open to criticism to that degree, to the degree in which you are discrediting your own self-awareness, and you basically become a glass, a cup for other people to pour their ideas of you or their false assumptions of you into you for you to believe about yourself, that's when self-critique becomes toxic. So that's how I was throughout the majority of our relationship. And I've explained that in my previous voice clips. So continuing on in the dream, I said, I didn't say this in a defensive way, though, in denial, but still uncertain and open to possible further discovery. In the dream, the way I spread out my legs, I meant to put, is how I sleep almost every night. I sleep with one leg straight and the other one bent outward. The leg that was outward was bent out and around her. She said that all of the cards said I did have sexual intent and that it was really bad. And I was totally confused and tripped out because I knew that when I wrapped my leg around her, sexual thoughts didn't cross my mind, and I felt bad when I caught myself. She used my personal oracle deck of cards, yet when she got done divinating, my cards changed into something totally different and had words I never seen on them before. She left the room and came back. When we came back together, we were being innocently playful with each other. She had this fan blow out fire. Instead of air. It was black. Just how people toss balls at each other, her and I were playfully and innocently throwing energy balls back and forth at each other. The energetic balls were a fiery red, white, and purple. She then left the room and I started to think, I feel so horrible. I remember her telling me about her friends that used her sexually, and now I'm just like them. As I said that, she came back and playfully threw some towels on my head and started chuckling. So, obviously, there are parts of the dream that speak for itself. Like I said, I'm going to try to be as concise as possible, but I definitely want to make sure I don't skip over anything. This dream, just like the dream I read before this, showcases how she gaslit me and put me in a position not to trust myself. And she used divination, her communication with spirits, lower, high vibe, whatever she wants to call them, spirits in general, and her ego to do this. But most importantly, she used her position and her level of authority that she created for herself to make me feel that way. But I have to take accountability for putting her in that position. Because yes, someone can say, oh, I know all of this. I have these keys. I can help you get to this place and I can help you do XYZ, right? I'm this special of a person, but it's up to you if you want to out the gate see them as special just because they're telling you so, or whether you really want to take the time not to just get to know, not just to get to know them for the things that they are telling you, but knowing them for yourself, knowing them through God. Let God tell you about the people that you're in close connections with. Don't let them tell you. If what God tells you about them resonates and lines up with what they're telling you and their actions towards you, that is who you choose to see. You should never just choose to see a person based off what they're feeding you from their mouth alone. Based off the earthly foundation that they may build for themselves, or pedestal that they may build for themselves alone. There should be a synchronicity with the things they are telling you, how they're acting, your intuition, what God tells you, what your mandalas tell you. There was so much incongruence when it came to this person, the things they were telling me, the pedestal that they placed themselves on, versus the dreams I was getting, versus what my higher self and my intuitive self was telling me, and versus what my mandalas were telling me. So, obviously, in the dream, I knew I didn't have sexual intent. She said her tarot cards and her spirit said I did. And because I trusted her more than myself, I doubt myself and I beat myself up for that. I said, I'm just like her other friends, like I said in that dream, right? Then when she did divinate, she divinated with my own oracle cards. And the messages turn into different messages. Now that is in relation to intuition. This part of the dream was signifying how she was distorting my own connection to my intuition. I said they turn into, let me read it again. She used my personal oracle deck of cards. Yet when she got done divinating, my cards changed into something totally different and had words I'd never seen on them before. I'm getting emotional because I've shown this dream to this person. I have shown this dream to this person. They have given me two different responses. The first time I told this person about this dream, she was like, this dream is just confirming that we're meant to work together, Jonice. And that even when you make mistakes and doubt your not doubt your intuition, even when you make mistakes and fuck me over or do things that people from my past did to me, like the whole sexual part. In actuality, I was doubting my intuition, but she wasn't going to tell me that. She needed to manipulate me. She was like, even when you do things like what my old friends did to me, I'm still going to keep supporting you because it's my duty. It's what I have to do in this lifetime. That was her first response. And I was so happy about that dream. After I had her decode it for me, I was like, yay. We're meant to work together. I already find her so dope. I find her so cool. I look up to her. She's like a role model for me. In a non-copying identity theft type of way, I hope to be like her in the sense of being influential, in the sense of being a spiritual advisor of my own, you know, in the sense of being someone who is well honored by the Most High and by ancestors and spirits, because that's how she painted herself out to be. She was really an inspiration to me, heavily. Like, that was the first response. The second time I told her about this dream was, like I said, I edited this dream October 31st, 2023. And around that time, that was the first time she let me back into my life after the first time she cut me off, if I'm not mistaken. And when I told her about this dream, I'm trying to figure out, I think I told her about this dream, letting her know, like, hey, I think we're meant to work together. I think this dream was telling us we're meant to work together. Actually, no, it wasn't about that. It was, I had got some dreams that I really believe came from low vibrational spirits. That's why I use the term mandalas now. And that's why I emphasize and push using that term instead of just saying ancestors or spirit guides alone, because you don't even know who you're referring to or calling it. And I have a video on that too, which is entitled, Do You Really Know What Type of Ancestors and Spirits You're Working With? But anyway, I believe low vibrational spirits gave me this dream. And basically I've had dreams, just like I've had dreams about her, staying away from her. And I didn't even know the dreams were telling me to stay away from her. I've also had dreams encouraging me to go back towards her. And so, as you can tell from the dreams and the pattern of things, there was spiritual warfare going on, in the sense that I was thinking that things that were coming from low vibrational spirits were actually coming from my mandalas. And I feel like that's what made it harder for me to figure out that it wasn't a good choice to go back to her. But the second time I told her about this dream, I was telling her about the dreams that I had of her, saying that we're meant to be divine best friends. And it was easy for me to believe that as well, because again, she reacted the way that she reacted to the dream when I first told her about it. She was like, oh yeah, with the whole Allstate thing. And, that was saying that we're meant to be together. We're meant to be friends for this lifetime. We're meant to work together for years. And, the whole thing with the sexual intention thing, that was saying I was just going to keep forgiving you, or, I was just going to let it go and we were going to evolve past that. So with that, on top of the readings that she gave me saying, my soul shines brighter than yours, and without me, your life would be very difficult, and things of that nature, I'm thinking, damn, there must be some type of divine, grand reason for why this person is meant to be in my life. So, it doesn't make sense for us to be so distant and still be close in each other's lives, and me to still be working with you for years. So I think that may mean that, ultimately we're meant to become best friends again. And even if not best friends, we're meant to have some type of closer connection, because why am I letting someone into my life to this degree, this intimately, for this long, for a lifetime, as she made it appear in readings, as she implied in readings and other times that we've talked. If, we're so distant with each other, we, every other time we talk, there's friction. Like, I think we're meant to get to some ultimate point. So I tried to divine on this question on my own without purchasing a reading from her or anything. And like I told you all in the previous videos I made, God stalled my gifts. God stopped me from being able to truly access my gifts and utilize them. And so the reading didn't really come out well. Like I wasn't really picking up on no energy for real. I was just reading the imagery and the messages that came out. The messages that were written on the tarot cards. So from that, I was like, well, it kind of looks like yes. It looks like yes. But then I still wasn't certain. That didn't feel like enough clarity for me. And I honestly felt like it wasn't going to be enough unless I were to get a reading from her confirming it. So I was like, I don't want to exactly directly ask her this question. So let me see how I can sneak it in. And the reason why I didn't want to exactly tell her is because I didn't want her to like overtly reject me, because I was so vulnerable at the time and I was such a fucking dick rider for this person at the time that being rejected by them would have made me feel extremely hurt, because it's like you're rejecting me, but you're also like encouraging me to stay in connection with you. So it's like a distant parent. Like you want me to be there and I have to receive from you, but you are not being respectful towards me and caring towards me. You know what I mean? So that's what I was trying to avoid, was the hurt, like the overt hurt and rejection, even though she was already hurting me and rejecting me. So I purchased a reading from her, and basically instead of asking the question outright, I said, is the cards is the question that I divinated on earlier today, or in this tarot picture. Yeah, I did send her a picture of the tarot cards. I think if I didn't send her a picture of the tarot cards, I was like, is this tarot question I divinated on, did I read it accurately? And she was like, well, it looks like the answer is yes and no, right? And so I'm just thinking to myself, how clear is that? Like, I still wasn't comfortable, because I'm like, why am I not able to get a solid answer? So, I don't recall how, but eventually her and I ended up getting on the topic directly. Like, it just became a direct question. And I think I introduced it by way of showing her my tarot cards and what they had said about the question and things like that. And she was just like, I would probably never be friends with you again. And pretty much she was like, you're in the same bucket as my other friends, like the other friends who treated me poorly. And then she ended it off saying, don't ever ask me this question again. She's like, this is the last time I'm ever going to answer this question for you. And then I had showed her, either prior to her saying that or right after she said that, I showed her the dream that I told her about. Probably that would have been a year ago, right? Yeah, because I was in November. About a year ago at that time, which was this whole conversation I'm referring to with the whole best friend thing. That was October 11th, I think. October 11th of 2023. If not the 11th, it'll have the date on the screen. But it was a year from that point, a year ago from that point. And I told her about it again, and her response was totally different. Her response was, oh, you probably got that dream because your guys didn't want you to begin to have romantic feelings for me. And I'm like, what? I got so mad, y'all. I was kissing her ass and just agreeing with her in the text messages. I was like, I had said what I, historically would say. Oh, I don't think I've ever had romantic feelings for you, but I'm open to the fact that may be in my subconscious mind, but I don't actually feel that way in this moment. And I can't recall feeling that way. I think I said something along those lines when she said that. Or if I didn't say that, I don't know. I probably gave some type of short response. And the reason why I don't have these text messages is because keeping these text messages in my phone and going back to our chat and seeing that, or even, having the option of being able to scroll up and read those messages from the past was extremely triggering for me because of the amount of psychological abuse that was inflicted upon me through text and call with this person. So I deleted majority of those readings, majority of those text messages. But if this person wants to retaliate and make a video themselves, I am for certain if they have the fucking text messages, if they have the readings, there is going to be parts of their responses that are going to line up with everything that I've said in these videos. So again, like I said before, I feel like I have more than enough substantial information to prove my case. But, what direction the viewer decides to go in is at their own discretion. So after that, like I said, I got angry. And when I went to divine, the cards were like, yes, as well. And it made me even angrier because I'm like, this just doesn't fucking make sense. And so instead of listening to the cards, I really took the time. And again, I couldn't read tarot well. So, I was just going off of the imagery and the, what the description of the card was saying, not the energy. So aside from the cards, I really took the time to analyze myself and trail back on every experience that I had with this person and ask myself, were you romantically attracted to them? Like, were there points and times where you wish that you were in a relationship with them? And I thought about it and I was like, no, this person, the highest light that I've seen them in was as a mother. And even that was inappropriate because no grown-ass adult should ever be codependent on another grown-ass adult to that degree, right? To where it's like, I don't have any guidance without you. I feel lost without you, I need you to help me with this. I need you to be there when this and this happens. Like, we need to need ourselves as much, if not more, than we need other people. There needs to be balance. And it was extremely unbalanced, but the way in which it was unbalanced was never sexual nor romantic. The highest degree was as a mother. The lowest degree was as a sister and a best friend and an advisor. Thank you for the energy confirmation. I love you all. That's it. And energy confirmations, like my gifts and like my awareness of my gifts has been heightened. But it's really comforting because the fact that they're giving me an energy confirmation is them letting me know, like, it's even further confirmation that I didn't need to depend on her or see her as a mother. Like, I'm able to access them. But even if I wasn't able to access them, like that tower that I had after her saying, oh, it was because they didn't want you to see me in a romantic way. I should have been able to immediately look at myself, analyze my own behaviors, see that for what it was and what it wasn't, and trust myself from there. If you don't have access to tarot, if you don't have access to your mandalas, if you feel like you cannot access God via the psychic realms, that is when it is time to trail back in reality. Look at what has happened in history in reality. It's not that the spiritual realm and your psychic self isn't reality. It's another facet of reality. But look at your immediate reality and see if that confirms or denies what you're inquiring about. I was afraid to even accept my immediate reality. And because of that, I didn't trust myself. Some things were, it wasn't always a matter of, oh, my intuitive self is telling me XYZ. Some things, it was a matter of, when did you ever do that, Jonice? When did you ever think that, Jonice? When did you ever say that, Jonice? You didn't. But I still let this person coerce me into thinking I said and did things that I did not.